शक्ति राम कृष्णे स्थिता दिया सर्व विद्या स्वरूपां तां शारदां प्रणमाम्यहम् सर्वत्रे सदा धिन्यो रामकृष्ण समाज्ञया यो धर्म स्थापन देशं तन्नमामि. So let us do the arati now. Do you have a microphone? जय श्री गुरु महाराज जी की जय। the book. The book is in the car. Hmm. Not as simple as I had thought. It moves, Yeah. Uh, anyway, Gita रखने के लिए होते हैं. So what happened? Suddenly he started making move here. पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वाम् अनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी. So this mantra, one of the mantras or verses in the meditation on Bhagavad-Gita, tells that this is something that was told for Arjuna to remove his ignorance, pratibodhitam, to give him wisdom. And this was told. So those who are all having similar problems like Arjuna had will also find a solace and a way out of their problems through this text. So that is why this has been studied for say about 5,000 years after it was first uh, taught, and in various languages for various parts of the world, people speaking different tongues. So, because this is a universal message, that is why Swami Ranganathananda had titled this book as the universal message of Bhagavad Gita. Universal because it doesn't apply only to a particular uh, sect of people and doesn't apply only to those who follow a particular religion or people belonging to certain caste or certain race or belonging to some country. No, it is universal. Even at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, it is told that following this, Siddhim vindanti manavaha. Siddhim means the success will come to human beings. It is not that said that success will come only to Hindus. It is not said success will come Hindavaha, no Manavaha. That it is for all human beings. And this great book is applicable. This and also it says Advaitam Ritavarshini, that Advaita means non-duality. This morning at breakfast time we were having an interesting discussion, and that what is exactly the import of what Sri Ramakrishna said, that keep the knowledge of non-duality tied to your to cloth that you are wearing, or these days people don't put on that cloth, so keep it in the pocket always. So be with you, and then you say do whatever you want. So the question came, what does it exactly mean? That do whatever you want and tie the. So the idea is this non-duality is the goal. In all different religions, you will find, if you dwell deep enough, that this non-dual awareness is the goal. That is the solution for all our difficulties and problems. And goal means it is. With this, one comes to what we are really seeking in life. We are seeking the bliss in life. And how does it come? By this non duality, by experiencing this non duality. In fact, Upanishads tell, and one can see this, as long as there are two, while we are experiencing two, there is going to be always fear, there always is going to be suffering. There is no eradication of suffering in this field of duality. There is, because in duality, one is limiting other. It is also, there is fear. Uh, we fear the other. What will that person do to me today? Appears to be friendly, but tomorrow who knows what he is going to do. So there is always uncertainty, fear. And so, even amongst very closely connected people, like, say, husband and wife, there is a fear that what will happen. He or she may turn against me, or he or she is not proper. I am not able to keep the other person happy, and so may go away from me. Always those threats are there. It is the other day, uh, one lady called uh, in the morning at our center because her husband was at the center. And then there was something that he was supposed to do. And so he was at the center who had not come back at the promised time. So she was saying that, well, I don't think I will continue in this with this man anymore. It is every time this is becoming so difficult that it is. Uh, so I said, where will you go? You know, it will be always somewhere. If not, then not this man. If you go after some other man, same thing is going to happen. So don't take the trouble. You see, it is the problem is of duality. Wherever there are two, then there is problem. One, no problem, isn't it? That like Rashmi has no problem with herself. I'm fine. It is uh, when it is the other, then the problems begin. So Bhagavad-Gita brings the knowledge of the non-duality. Actually, there is one without second. That is the truth. And the moment we experience it, then this illusion of duality vanishes. Mm. A very simple example you get is that all of us see dreams. Do you see dream or no? I mean, I'm not talking about daydreaming. It is, do we fall asleep and see dream? Uh, do you see Upakar dream anytime? Yeah. Now in the dream you see the same variety, all different things. Now, when you get up, all that vanishes. It was only one, and that was appearing as many there. The same you had become. The you in the dream is not the you that is, you are sleeping, uh, lying on the bed blissfully. Uh, but then there you see in the dream another you. You don't see any dream in which you are not there. Just as in the waking state also you don't have any experience in which you are not there. There must be the experiencer. So in the dream also you are there. But that you, is it same as the one who is? No, that is a different you. So, and all that you see in the dream is actually the mind, one mind getting variegated, appearing differently without actually losing its oneness. So, this too that we see is actually one, appearing as many. And this appearing has occurred without actually having any change. That is the beauty of it. It remains one and appears as many. And not that you have, say, one piece of cake and then you cut into, say, 100 pieces or whatever. Now that oneness is gone, and now you have the 100 pieces of that cake. So, it sometimes one may think that this, it was earlier one, then somebody had made pieces of this oneness. No, it is only illusory appearance, like in dream. Hmm. There is a beautiful hymn of Shankaracharya where he describes this as in dream, as you see, it is called, that hymn is Dakshinamurti Stotram. I have alluded to that in these classes many times because it is very, very profound hymn, very simple in a way, very sublime expressions, and beautiful language. Vishwam darpana drishyamana nagari tulyam nijantargatam पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद् भूतं यथा निद्रया. So, see, it is like you see yourself stand in front of the mirror, it appears to be there. Actually, you are not there, you are here, but as if appearing outside. So, it all appears outside, but it is actually inside, appearing as outside. And also, yatha nidraya, like in the dream, you see so much variety. But when you wake up, uh, that at the time of waking up, then all this disappears. So when we wake up from this ignorance, all this disappears. And Bhagavad Gita is the guide to do that. Advaitamrita Varshinim Bhagavatim. And Bhagavad Gita does it with the kindness of mother. So she is called Amba, means mother. Ambatva Manusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshinim. It is actually, one can keep on thinking of this beautiful verse, uh, that it is, her compassion has no end. Bhagavad Gita again and again uh, to us who are uh, rather, we should admit, we are somewhat dull people, not really as brilliant as we think we are. It is, in fact, an expression of our dullness is this that we think we are very wise. So that is not really we are very wise. We are dullards, but think I am very wise. Bhagavad Gita gradually guides us without letting it go, without getting disgusted that, oh, this stupid fellow is never going to understand. No. Again and again, Bhagavad Gita comes to us to give this illumination. Very beautiful. So, today we are going to see this part that Arjuna, this 10th chapter begins by telling that all this you see is my expression, means God's expression. All that you see is God's expression, and so it can be used to go to God. It is because by holding on to the expression, you can go to the root of it, where from all this came. So, there is this verse in the 10th chapter that it is, and actually, Arjuna is not asking any particular question to begin the chapter. Later on, he asks the question. So, he is told that to know God, to realize God, you see that everything that you are perceiving, all that you are encountering, is God alone appearing in various forms. So, by looking at this method is called in Sanskrit Tulavadharanena Mulavadharanam, means by looking at the flowers or the fruits, you know what the seed is or what the root is. So, where from it has come. So, by looking at this result, at this universe, when we see where from it has come, and then you come to the origin of it, that is God. That is the earliest way, and even now, the most convenient way for people to feel God. Now, what is this universe which comes and goes, which keeps on changing? Where from it came? Who made it? And then you need to have a conscious entity who made it because it is a cosmos. It has an order. It is not something that many say it has come by chance, like scientists, biologists. That only shows that they are not finding the reason. So when you don't find the reason, then you can certainly say by chance. Effectively, what this word means is I don't know how it came. It is, but if you are told how this hall got built, how it came, and if I give the answer, the bricks and the lumber and the steel from whatever different places it started walking here on its own and then climbed on each, all the bricks climbed on each other. Will you accept this? Swami, you need help. Uh, so it is, nobody will accept this. It is not possible for even a hall like this to be made without uh, somebody to organize it. For some use, it is being made. So, this whole universe, this all also cannot come by just accidentally. The material moving in and sitting on each other. What to speak of this whole universe? Just ridiculous. So, uh, so you see, you can by looking at this universe, God is there. One can easily infer this that from whom all this thing has come up, that is God. What you are seeing, it changes. It appears to be many, but the root is one. Like from one seed, you will see the all different leaves and flowers and fruits, they come up. It is the source is not multiplicity, source is oneness. So all this you will have in God and God alone, without any change, that God is appearing as all this. So it is that verse has been told here that it is Matta Sarvam Pravartate. Everything just springs up from me. Now, and knowing this, uh, somebody worships me as the origin of all this, unchanging, eternal origin of all these, this changing panoramic universe. Then, by that, one will be able to realize God or me. Got it? uh, it is told that I am in everything. Now the Arjuna gets this question that, and that is our topic today, that it is all right in everything God is, but my mind does not go to each and everything. So I will get confused that everywhere God is in everything. But how am I to feel that? How am I to feel that? It is, I got it intellectually that everything is God. But then we do not, cannot practically worship everything. If we have knowledge, then that is a different thing. Otherwise, our worships will not be able to. We need a place for worship. Uh, it is like we have come to this Yukon for the Vedanta Society of Connecticut meeting. And here then we have these images kept there. And then we can feel God. They are help to feel God. Everything is God, worship. That is very good if we can. But it is, we need some illustrations, some examples. In our geometry class, I remember, like uh, it is a triangle. Some theorem is to be proved about a triangle. Say ninth grade now. So it is a triangle has to be drawn on the board. Hmm. But now it has the problem is there. You draw one triangle and looking at it or working at this one triangle, whatever you know from this one triangle, will it be applicable to all triangles? That is a question. Sometimes the proofs for one this thing kind of triangle may not work for the other kind of triangles. Hmm. So, but you draw only one triangle, and it is a particular triangle. So, from particular now you have to generalize it by taking proper care that you whatever you are doing is applicable to all triangles. So, because triangle is an abstract concept, so you have taken a particular example for convenience of understanding. So it is an example by which you understand, and the example has to be something that with which you can connect. It is you need something to draw the figure on, properly drawn. One student in our class, he was told, oh, now you should draw a triangle and then prove this. So uh, he was a wonderful, drawing person. So he went to draw the triangle. It was like a circle. It didn't show the angles. So now, because he could not, he didn't have those skills to draw the properly. So it is, so even that requires some skills, I mean. So when we have to have a proper figure of triangle to understand that. So even to think of God, we need some proper format which we can connect our mind to. It is not the limitation of God, it is limitation of our mind that we require this help. It is like a person who is lame would require crutches to walk. Nothing, it is the problem is with that person, not that because that person is walking with crutches, all have to walk on crutches. No, but that is that person's necessity. So every person has a necessity of finding the right form with which to think God. Nothing wrong in that, but this knowledge is to be kept intact there. That whatever it is, God is not just there. I am taking this as a representation of God, like a triangle. It is whatever is, all it is applicable to all triangles. It is connected with the concept of triangle, not a particular triangle. So it is like that the God is to be felt through certain images or certain patterns where the mind goes automatically. That becomes more convenient. So Arjuna asked this very important question here. Keshu keshu cha bhaveshu. Ah, that chintyusi bhagavan maya. That it is, what is the 10th chapter. Glimpses of divine glory. Yeah, uh, so divine glory is described here, Vibhuti. This name of this chapter is Vibhuti Yoga. So, Vibhuti, Bhuti means that which has come into being. The prefix Vibhuti means something Vishesh. V stands for Vishesh, special manifestations of God. It is, everything is Bhuti, Vibhuti. So something that has special features, especially attractive. Like uh, there are 7.3 billion human beings. A handful of them are such that people think about them. Ah, that like Lord Krishna or Buddha or Jesus, and a handful of them. Mind goes to them. It is something that is very famous. Somebody who has done some great achievement in life. So you talk about that person. that person becomes a big celebrity. The mind goes in that direction. Uh, you don't go to every place, even in Yukon stores, there will be nice, all looks very nice. Uh, but people come here to study. This is not a sightseeing place, isn't it? Nice. They go where famous places for sightseeing. Let us go to Grand Canyon. And there is something special associated with it that is not found everywhere. So, therefore, they are famous places. Let us go to see Taj Mahal. So many buildings are there. Each building will have some speciality. But you go to see Taj Mahal, and the mind goes to all those spatial manifestations. That is why those things become famous. Famous, well known means why become well known? Because so many people's minds they go in that direction. So, keshu keshu cha bhaveshu chintu si bhagavan maya. In what different forms can I think about you, O Lord? Now here comes the question of psychology. Logically, God is everywhere. The problem is with our mind. Am I able to think it everywhere? Am I able to think God everywhere? No. And so I have to find the ways where it will be convenient, easy for us to think God. There is a beautiful conversation in Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Uh, in just one or two first visits, you will get this that M, the chronicler of Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, a great book. It is such a guide for people's spiritual life is difficult to find. Mm, that Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. So a question is asked there that in Bengali it is Ishure mati ki kure hobe. How will the mind turn to God? How will the mind turn to God? It is going on here, there, uh, and all I understood that everything has come from God, but the mind is not going to God. It goes to so many different places, so many different people, and it keeps on jumping. It doesn't stick at anything. It is for some time it went to one person, then got bored, went to some other thing, then went to a football game, and all that. The mind keeps on. It doesn't. So the question, therefore, is a very important question. How will mind go to God? Now, if the mind is automatically going to God, will that question be there, Sandhya? Huh? No, if it is going to, there is no question about it. It is going to God. The question, and if you don't want the mind to go to God, again that question is meaningless. The question becomes meaningful only when you want the mind to go to God, and yet it is not going. Hmm. How to come to this stores, Connecticut? If you already know how to come there, this question is irrelevant. Well, I know the road, yeah, so I will go there. Simple, I don't need any guidance on that part. No question. If I don't want to go to Stores, Connecticut, again that question is meaningless. So both these things have to be there. I want my mind to go to God, but it is not going. Now, how to make that God do that mind go to God? How the mind be made to go to God? That one dog was trained that after some that owner says sit, then the God would sit. Sit, sit. Now uh, uh, that owner learned that it is, but that then the owner's wife said to the dog, sit. The dog was not sitting. Ah. Again and again she tried and got frustrated. I am telling the dog to sit, it is not sitting. What is the problem? The problem was that the dog does not exactly understand the language. The word with the tone and all that together, the dog gets the idea that I am being told to sit. Then the dog gets the message. So it is not that it is somebody may translate it in Spanish and say to dog that siéntate. The dog will not get any understanding of that because the dog doesn't know language. That dog will do according to what its ears, the tonality and all that included in it will sit. So it is like that. The dog is not sitting. How to make the dog sit? So it is a problem. So we want our mind to go to God. The fellow is not going. So the question comes how the mind to make it to go to God. It goes to all nonsensical things. Even if I don't want it to go there, it goes. A big problem. I don't want the mind to go there, but still it goes there. And I want it to go to God. The stubborn fellow doesn't budge at all. So this is the genuine question that M had, and he asked to Sri Ramakrishna. Uh, so here Arjuna's question is also similar there, that it is, how shall I think of you? Now, a great psychologist Krishna, he gives such an appropriate answer that where does it go automatically? Hmm, the mind has a tendency to go somewhere. So where does it go? To all these famous things. There the mind goes. Uh, so let us watch this game, or let us watch this movie, or let us and do some such things where the mind gets connected automatically. Uh, Now there there is the innate tendency for the mind to go there. So now uh, God will be telling that look upon it as my manifestation. That thing where your mind is going, now know that it is my manifestation, it is my vibhuti. It has its glory because I am there. Everything is God, but where there is some special manifestation, one can feel God there. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, therefore, that in a person who is highly respected by people, whom people follow, there is a special manifestation of God there. A place where thousands of people go, there is a special manifestation of God there. And they don't go everywhere. It is a special place they go to. Let us go to see Niagara. You don't say, let us go to, see that stream of Connecticut River. It is there, nice, but then you go to see Niagara Falls. It is so automatically the mind goes to those places. It is so wherever the mind is automatically going, know that to be the manifestation of God. So it is that Arjuna asked that all that you told me is true, that you are in everything, but still uh, I am not finding my mind automatically going to those things. So, you therefore please tell me, वक्तुम् अर्हस्य शेषेण दिव्यायात्म विभूतयः याभिर्विभूतिभिर्लोकान् इमां त्वं व्याप्य तिष्ठसि. It behooves you to speak without reserve about your divine attributes by which filling all these worlds you exist. It is a question asked through that yearning that it is, I need to know all this. So please tell me so that my mind will turn to God. A very practical question. Arjuna is a very practical man. Hmm. He is a warrior, general of this army, has not much time to for empty philosophical discussions. The philosophical discussions go on, without much practical content to it. I told you that story that two people going in the balloon, they didn't know exactly the wind, where has the wind taken the balloon. So they saw some person walking and then decided to come down to that person. So they brought the balloon down and asked that person, hey, where are we? That man said, hmm, thought for a second, seconds and said, you are in the balloon. Now, come on, they said that no use, So they again took the balloon up and then one of them said, this man seems to be a philosopher. Why? And because he didn't give him firstly immediately the answer. He waited, thought. Philosophers think, so they don't immediately not give answer. Pondered over it. And what the answer was given was accurate, perfectly correct answer. It was a perfectly correct answer and perfectly useless answer. That is what is so perfectly correct and totally impractical answer. So Arjuna was not all such philosophical things. He wanted something immensely practical. So now, therefore, he tells Krishna, you have to now tell me how my mind will practically be able to turn towards God. So Krishna tells that it is that you see, everything is my manifestation that you must remember. That on the background of this knowledge, now I am going to tell you the special manifestations. Don't forget that the special manifestations is for the ease of feeling God there. It is not meant for limiting God. Many people they have this question. Hey, you Hindus, you have this God, this God, this God. You have an image of Ganesha, elephant like face, and then there is some this goddess, then that Kali, very ferocious looking, and so many different gods. What are all these? You mean to say that this image is God? Uh, it is, in a way, a foolish question that it is a help, it is the help for us to connect to God. It is not a limitation imposed on God, not that God is here only. It is not an limitation of God, but the help to feel God. So, this is how we can feel God. So, special manifestations. And therefore, there are many, many manifestations, infinitely many, because every person has a different way of feeling. Everybody doesn't like to go to Niagara. A lot of people like to go to Niagara, agreed. But some are not interested. There are many other things we will go to see. We will go to Japan and see that Buddha statue there. That is very well known, and we will see that one of my Swamis, our Swamis, he said, I don't like to go and see all these and naturally very big, gorgeous, and such places. I like to see where the human ingenuity, human greatness has expressed itself. So I like to see, therefore, uh, some museums, some buildings that human beings have constructed, which show the great architecture, all such things I like to see. So some people are inclined to see that. Some like to see museums. Not all. Many do not actually. They go to see museum because they have heard about it. But then they go. I went to this one museum recently with a person, and he said, "Oh, let us quickly do it." It is not that there is something to be really done later, but okay, okay, this is this one, okay. Now there is no appreciation for that for everybody. So it is so. Oh, this is some patterns of color, and so that art is not appreciated by everybody there. So therefore, that person is not a museum going person. Art museum going person, certainly not. So, uh, different people have different desires, different places to go to. So, therefore, so many special manifestations of God are told. So it is. He says, first remember अहमात्मा गुडाकेश सर्वभूताशय स्थितः अहमादिश्च मध्यम च भूतानामन्त एव च. First remember the most apparent manifestations, closest manifestation, and that you always think of. What is it? Well, yourself. We always think about I, to show how great I am, how big I am, how virtuous I am. It is so. In that sense, we are all I specialists. I specialist. It is so. That is. We keep on thinking about I all the time. So that is the first vibhuti, first special manifestation, I. Know that I is God actually. Hmm. So your mind goes to that all the time. Don't think of I. Try, it is so difficult. It is not impossible really for most people, 99.9% people, I would say. Uh, don't think of yourself. Okay, I will not think of myself. That will be the thought, I will not think of myself. So I will be there. So that I is God, the biggest manifestation, closest manifestation, universal manifestation is I, Aham Atma. I am the self in Sarva Bhutashaya Sthitha, in everyone's heart. Ah, everyone's heart. This point comes in Bhagavad-Gita again and again. In everyone's heart, in everyone's deepest recesses of being, this I, the core of that is God, and it is same, not different at all. Like in different bottles, the bottle is different, the water is same. So, in every body, if you think of yourself as a bottle, now this is one bottle, this is one bottle, and the back there is that Abhijit sleeping, I think, nicely. So it is, that is another bottle. So it is, all these are different bottles, but the water, the self, is same in all these, that is God. So that is the first vibhuti. And then uh, all this universe, I am the beginning, middle, and end of all that. So all the other vibhutis that are being told, they are to be seen on the background of this primary, most important vibhuti. So don't forget that. Now he comes to that it is Adityanam aham Vishnu Jyotisham Raviram Mariche Marutamasmi Nakshatra aham Shashi. That of the Adityas means all these shining bodies. It is I am the Vishnu, uh, that all Adityas, they, means sun also is called Aditya, means the shining bodies. I am Vishnu is the most shining thing. And amongst those who are Jyotisham, those which give light, I am Ravi Ramshuman, I am the sun and the moon. So I am the sun and the moon amongst those who are light givers. So they give the maximum light. So I am that. Whenever you see the sun is giving light, means God in the form of sun is giving light. Think of God. It is as sun. So amongst the winds, I am the of the winds, I am Marichi. Of the asterism, I am moon. So I am the moon amongst all those the heavenly stars, constellations. The biggest of these is that from our human point of view. Uh, the moon is the biggest shining body that we see in the sky. So I am that. And then tells that uh, Vedanam, amongst the Vedas, there is one Veda called Sama Veda. It gives the science of reciting, understanding the Vedas, how the Vedas are to be chanted, and that is decided by Sama Veda. So it is considered great amongst Vedas. Vedanam Samavedosme. Now, in everything, whatever is the brightest, the most glorious, where the mind goes, and God is telling, think of me there. The mind is going there already. Now think of God in that. So the mind will find it easier to get connected to God through these manifestations because the mind automatically is going there. So, uh, amongst the sense organs, Indriyana Manaschasme, amongst them I am the mind. Means mind unifies, connects, organizes all the inputs from various sense organs and guides the motor organs. So all organs are in a way contained in the mind. So uh, mind is being the organizer of all these. Think of amongst the organs, I am the mind. It is the mind connects all organs that it is and directs also. So our organs therefore see how or very well connected they are with each other. It is now here I am seeing a little lag in the normally I don't get to see my YouTube pictures while I am giving lecture. So I don't realize that. But now I am seeing, so there is a lag that it is my words and my visual movements, they are not in sync. Those who are watching there, they will hear okay, they will not have problem. But uh, for me, it is a, if I look at it, I wonder, oh, ah, I did like this a little while ago, and now it is showing. So that synchronizing is not there. But our otherwise our these organs they work in great sync. It is our sense of touch tells that there is sweat here, and then automatically you take a wipe and go right there. So this is synchronizing is there. It is you feel that your nose may have something coming out, so you put your towel to the nose. You don't put it to the ear at that time. Yeah, because there is the proper synchronizing. So, therefore, Lord says, I am the mind there. Amongst all organs, I am the mind. So, the biggest, the greatest, the incluser of everything, that is what I am. So, it is Rudranam Shankarashchasmi Vittesho Yaksharakshasam Vasunam Pavakashchasmi Meru Shikharinamaham. That amongst the Rudras, I am Shankara. Shankara is therefore called Rudra. But there are 11 Rudras. Shankara is the most prominent amongst them. So among Rudras, I am Shankara. And then it is Vittesho Yaksharakshasam. Uh, and amongst the wealthy people, now we say Bill Gates or Bezos and all that. So that it is at that time that it is Kuber. So he is the Yaksha Rakshasam and the a lord of wealth, that is Kubera, uh, of the Vasus, I am Pavaka, and amongst mountains, Meru I am. The Meru was then they considered the biggest mountain. What is Meru? Where is it? Nowadays, do you have any which mountain is called Meru? Hmm? Do you know how he is looking at Google? Yeah. So I don't know exactly which mountain gets called Meru. Huh? Sumeru, where is it? Hmm. So I am that among mountains. Huh? It is only stories. It is, yeah. Okay. Himalaya, part of Himalaya. So, yes. Senaninam aham skandaha sarasam asmi sagaraha. That amongst the big generals, the general of the army of gods, demigods, was Skanda. So, Skanda is uh, one son of Shiva called Kartikeya. Another name for Skanda is Kartikeya. He was the general of the divine army. The other was Ganesha. The elder one is Ganesha. These two sons of Shiva. So uh, this Skanda was expert in warfare. So he was made the general of the army of. And then Sarasamasmi Sagaraha, amongst the water bodies. I am the ocean, the biggest water body. So, like that, let the mind go to such special manifestation. Think of that as it is great because of me. I am the cause of their glory. So, by that, the mind will go to God. So, this is the Vibhuti Yoga. It is Ashwatha Sarva Vrikshanam, amongst the trees. I am the Ashwatha tree. It is a special tree like what is called, the Vatavriksha. What is the English word for it? Banyan tree. Okay. So, yes, it is the banyan tree amongst all the trees. So, it is because here the translation is only Ashwatha. Ashwatthana aham. So amongst trees, I am Ashwatha. So, and amongst the Devarshinam cha Naradaha. Narada is the prominent among all the sages. So I am that. So it is. So all these examples are given to show. It is one of our Swamis, a couple of days back, he had come, a wonderful Swami. So he is giving a retreat also, Swami Tyagananda. So Swami Tyagananda, he is otherwise, a fan of Apple products. Hmm. So despite this, uh, that hey, that Android and all that, that useless. Microsoft, no, forget it, So it is, so I composed one Vibhuti Yoga verse for him, that it is, Phonanam iPhoneosmi, amongst phones I am iPhone. Phonanam iPhoneosmi, computeranam cha Apple. And he used to like, he even now likes, but he doesn't eat because of the sugars and all problem. So, Mishtannanam tiramisu, amongst the sweets, he said, if the God has to take the form of sweet, it will be tiramisu. So, Mishtannanam tiramisu. And since he lives in Boston, Nagaryanam asmi Bostonam. So Nagaranam asmi Bostonam. So the mind goes to those things automatically. So wherever the mind goes automatically, think of God in that. It is the mind is already going there. Now know that that is its greatness is because of God, and God has made it great. So think of God there. The idea is not to think of Meru or all these different manifestations, but think of God there. This is how the psychology, In Sri Ramakrishna, one lady complained that the mind is not going to God, a very sincere lady. And Sri Ramakrishna asked her, where does the mind go? She said, I have a little, my brother's son. So, and he has lost his mother. So, I take care of him, and the mind goes to him. So Sri Ramakrishna said to her, okay, no, that as the manifestation of God. Don't think of that as your nephew. Think that God, and then do the service. So the mind will just go to God. So this is a psychological way. One has to, take help of psychology. That how will the mind go? Otherwise, just God everywhere. But I don't feel anywhere. So what is the point? So this is a great lesson given here. So we shall conclude here that at the end again he says that yad yad vibhutimat sattvam srimad urjitameva va. Wherever you see the greatness, know that it is from mama tejangsha sambhavam. It is a manifestation of my glory. It is so that the mind should just go to God. And that is how one has to use these psychologically effective techniques to make the work done. Vedanta is science as well as technology. Only science does not bring us the benefit of that knowledge. So you have technology, because of which the discoveries of science become uh, helpful to us in our day-to-day life. So this is Bhagavad-Gita is therefore at the end of every chapter it says Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre. Now Brahma Vidya is the science part of it. That how to realize God, what is God, and all that. Science of it. Very important. Without science, there is no technology. But without technology, the science does not become helpful in our life. So, Brahma Vidya and Yoga Shastra. Yoga Shastra is the technological aspect. That how to convert this knowledge into my experience. Then it becomes useful to me. So this is in the 10th chapter. It is just I have not come across anywhere in all the books that I have read, the Upanishads uh, and Puranas or the books of other religions. This such detailed description of how the mind can be taken to God, I have not seen the psychology at its best, I would say. So let us conclude. If you have any questions, and then feel free to ask. Do you anybody has any questions? Huh? Okay, he first. Okay, come on. Huh? Yeah. Well, now what this is what is happening. Granted, yeah. Now, here some effort will be required on your part. Uh, yeah, yeah, and yeah, yeah. Yes, and that reframing will happen with your intent. Intense intent has to be there that I have to think of God. The mind has to go to God, and then this is a way by which I will be able to effectively do it. Hmm. The mind is going all these directions, and that is why one has to see that those things are in themselves, there is no glory to them, but it is because of they being God. The glory of God has manifested there. So think of God. It should shift there. Like when you see a painting, you appreciate the painting and ask who really did it, who is the artist, because the artist is more important than the art. That particular piece of art is just one of the manifestations of the artist. And so you ask, who is the artist? And thus your mind goes to the artist by looking at that art. So wherever the mind, that is a problem with all of us. The mind goes in many ways here and there. But wherever it goes, uh, now think of God as the source of it. So that is how gradually it will get connected to God, the source of happiness. So Vinay will become then a happy person. Ah, you want, don't want what? You want to be happy, isn't it? And so when you get the source of happiness, if you don't go to the source of happiness, you will get frustration, isn't it? And that is why people get frustrated in life. And naturally, what will happen? They want happiness, and then they go where happiness is not. So that is the reason for frustration. Hmm. So by realizing God, what will happen? You will get what you were seeking. And how to do it? Well, wherever the mind is going, that is manifestation of God. So think of God as you get there. The example like Sri Ramakrishna, he went to see the circus. Now all people go to see circus. So many people, thousands of millions of people go to see circus. Especially those days when there was no other entertainments that much. So people used to go to see circus. So he saw that the lion there and went into samadhi, thinking of that this is the vehicle of the Divine Mother. uh, Ma Durga rides on this lion. So mind from lion shifted to Durga. So went into Samadhi. Then he brought so many examples. One of them made a kind of humorous comment also. Oh, if you go to see circus many times, then you will have so many examples for us to give. He gave the example there that look, how that girl was walking on the rope and then riding the on the running horse. She was jumping from the rope. She would jump on that, was doing so many different skills. Now does it come just automatically? Look how much she must have practiced. So practice like that so that your mind will get concentrated, connected. It will not get frittered away. So practice. How much practice even for that skill to be developed you need to do. So from these experiences you connect to the source, the God. That you have to uh, mm, do through practice. That whatever greatness, wherever you feel greatness, look at the source of that greatness. That greatness is not because of anything else, but it is the greatness of God. Hmm. Some celebrity you feel, wow, great. That greatness is because of God. Otherwise, it has no meaning. It is. Therefore, somebody becomes celebrity today. After some time, people just forget. Nobody remembers that person. Because it was not glory of that person, because at that moment God manifested through that, and thus that glory was imparted to that. It is a secondary reflection of glory of God there. So think of that. That is the source of the glory. Hmm. Yes, they are. They are. That is the first example that was given. That this I that you feel is manifestation of God. Hmm. It is. That is manifestation of God. And that is so true. That many things that you are able to do, your ability was not there as such. It is the God who worked through your limbs, your person, and so you became successful in that. So that is how. Uh, and who else? You asked something. Huh? You wanted to ask. Yes, Prabal. It is there in dream also. Well, it is many compare like that, but in the dream, after you came out of the dream, you don't remember that, you don't see that. But in the dream, you in the dream had that dreamer's viveka there also. Why, what you should do, what you should not do. Therefore, in dream also, yeah, you have your in the dream. Suppose you see a tiger, you in the dream you start running from this tiger and scream also. So it is. So it happens in the dream also. Yes, yes. Well, in the dream also you can do it. It is actually that is a good practice. If you put it in the program as it goes into dream, it is all programmed. Your waking state actions also are programmed. Hmm. And the dream actions also programmed. So in the program, if it is put, in the dream also, you will have this. That is why people have the dreams of God. Huh? Well, programming, yeah, in the waking state you do it, in the dream also, then it will gradually, you will have it. Yeah, yeah, correct. Ah. Who else is the asking question here or in the on the web? Huh? Huh? One request. Maharaj Pranam, please explain yoga. Uh, uh, yoga में यज्ञानाम जप यज्ञोस्मि. Yes, that is also there. Very beautiful, excellent. In other sacrifices, that yajna means actually sacrifice, but it is done as if it is a particular ritual. In all other these sacrifice rituals, yajnas, you require many ingredients. Mm. And then you pour oblations. It takes lot of efforts, lot of money. And again, the result is comparatively very small. Spiritual result from all that ritual is comparatively very small. But japa yajna means doing the meditation, japa, the repetition of the mantra given to you by the Guru. Now keep on doing, repeating it. Now that is a sacrifice in a way. And that you are thinking of God, giving everything to God. Now it has comparatively much less exertion, almost no expenditure. Mm. So it doesn't have the external, you see, propaganda and such things. Otherwise, the mind goes, to external things. Oh, I had arranged this yajna ritual, 5,000 came. So you feel elated. Oh, 5,000 people came for the sacrifice I arranged. But then you see some others has done 10,000 came, you feel, oh, mine was not that good. It is, this is not there in Japa Yajna, and no external such things. It is what food did you serve to the guest? Again, that comparison happens. It is, yeah, in one place, in different houses, they used to organize the meetings. The main thing was supposed to be my lecture there. Now, since it was arranged at different homes, every home they will prepare something for the feeding everybody. So that became more prominent thing. And then comparison and competition. That oh, uh, and they prepared all these delicacies. I will do better than that. It is all meaningless things. So there is no proper result. Uh, so I saw that and said, okay, uh, there will be no food afterwards. It is, after all, people come from those this thing. It will not be there. And if it is to be there on certain occasions, everybody will bring just one item. So it will be everybody can have the glory of it and no competition. Because the mind goes instead of going to God, where is it going to God? No, self-aggrandizement. So it is. So these yajnas, these rituals, they bring, they consume lot of effort, lot of money, and the result As far as devotion is concerned, very tiny. But in Japa Yajna, now no expenditure is required. There is no propaganda going on there about it. You do the meditation, do the japa. So that is the yajna, and therefore it brings the greatest results. That is why God says yajna nam japa yajñosmi. I am the amongst the sacrifices. I am the japa yajna, yajna nam japa yajñosmi. So, therefore, once a month in Providence we have, on Saturday, yesterday we had. So, the day long people will be just keeping silence and doing their mantra and meditation. So, it is simple and isn't that thing great where your investment is least and your dividends are maximum? Ah, that is the best thing. What our business professor can tell you, no? It is that is the best thing. You don't have to invest much, and you get lot of returns. So this Japa Yajna being like that, it is the best amongst yajnas. Thank you. Very nice question. Dheeraj Sharma. Okay, thank you. Any other question there? Ah, yeah, yeah, correct. It is used for Samudra Manthan. Then in Shiva Mahimna hymn, it is told that Asita Giri Samam Syat Kachalam Sindhu Patre, that is suppose the big mountain, then the name of Meru is not there. A black mountain. A black mountain is dissolved in the ocean. Now ocean is to be in pot, So the mountain to be dissolved to make the ink there, the mountain also has to be proportionately big. So, and asita means not white, otherwise it won't write. So, a black, dark mountain, huge like say Meru, is to be dissolved in that ocean. That was at the bottom of the ocean. There was the turtle, and then it was yes, it became the Kurma Avatara. Yeah, the turtle incarnation of God. Okay then. Yes, this Abhijit has a question. Ah, yes. Ah, mm, of course. Yeah, because it is the success in that is granted by God, and failure also is granted by God. It is Yasho or Yasha, both are God, Yasha means you get the glory or you don't get the glory. It is both are manifestations of God. God wanted it to fail, so it failed. If God wanted it to be successful, mm, that God would make it successful, whether I do or somebody else does. If God wants it to be successful, be successful. So even in failure, one should try to feel God without blaming God. It is that God wanted it not to succeed, so it didn't succeed. Fine, we made effort, it didn't work out. So because God did not want one should be happily accepting it rather than somebody. Yeah. Uh, yeah, that is what I was telling about. So it is like Japayana. Huh? So yes. Now, uh, yes, first Saturday of month. Now for some months it will not be because of the summer vacation. But in summer you had attended it once, I think, that meditation retreat. Yes, meditate upon. So for a weekend, it is just meditation. Mm. It is. Huh? Yes. That I have to decide the topic, isn't it? 24th. 24th of July we will be meeting. That will be a day-long program. Huh? 24th July. Will you come from New Jersey? Huh? Yeah. Huh? Good. Huh? Yes, you have to be here, isn't it? Yeah. So mark on your calendar. Yeah, that July 24th, Sunday. Hmm. It will be from, I think, 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So I am yet to think of the topic. Do you have any topic suggestions? Hmm. Come on. Shortcuts. Oh. 23rd is Saturday, not on Saturday. 24th, the retreat will be here on Sunday. Here. Providence, the retreat is on 18th this month. Hey, did you register? No, you registered, I saw. Sandhya, uh, register. Uh, he may not be coming. He says he doesn't. Uh, he doesn't drive that far. If you are going to drive him, he will come. What? If she is going to drive you, you can come, isn't it? Yeah. There is, I think, still some room. Yesterday I saw we were going to take only 60. We already have 55. So only 5 seats are remaining. Yeah. So there is no registration needed. Mate. Yeah. If you decide, you can have registration because then you will know how many people are coming and then you can assign the duties about that. Okay then. So my thanks to the friends listening on the web also. Thank you very much. And those who are nearby in Connecticut, don't rely on web. You should personally come here. Did you get it, Soma? Uh, Fully. So come in person. Okay then. गीता सुगीता कर्तव्या किमन्यत् शास्त्रविस्तरैः या स्वयं पद्मनाभस्य मुखपद्माद्विनिसृता एकं शास्त्रं देवकी पुत्रगीतम् एको देवो देवकी पुत्र एव एको मन्त्रः तस्य नामानि यानि कर्माप्येकं तस्य देवस्य सेवा श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु